Hello, everyone. We're going to be taking a quick look over the game we've been developing. Keep in mind this is early development, so the way things look right now are not necessarily the way that they are going to look when we have a finished product. I had intended on showing you the starting sequence for the server. Uh, when you log into a server for the first time, it's going to let you know that you do not have any cities. It's going to tell you that you can claim any computer-controlled city as your starting location. So any gray city, you can pick your starting location. Once you've chosen your starting location, your resources and population are going to start generating. These are moving really fast right now for testing. They're not going to move that fast during regular servers. So once you have your starting city, you need to start generating weapons and troops so you can start conquering neighboring cities. To start producing troops, you need population and weapons. So you're going to click on your city view, and in here is where you're going to assign a weapon for that city to start producing. So generally, you're going to start on spears. Click spears. Okay, now they're producing. As you start producing weapons, they're going to start populating in your armory for that city. So you can click on show armory. Okay, we have 155 spears, 460 swords. Go back to the city view. Now, to start recruiting these units, you can go here. Say we want to recruit 460 swordsmen. Recruit, it's instant. As long as you have the population available and the weapons available, it is an instant recruit. Now, your city level is going to do a few things. It's going to give you resource production. So instead of upgrading individual buildings all the time, you're doing one button. You're as long as you have the resources available to upgrade, you can upgrade the entire thing. So increase the city level. That's going to up your production on your resources. It is also going to increase your base defense for the city. Once you've recruited some units, you can start to take over neighboring cities. So we're going to click city 875. Now, on this screen, you can relocate all units. There's only one button for attacking, defending, moving units. It's just send them. If it's not your city, it's going to attack. If it is your city or your ally's city, it's going to come in as support. Okay, now to conquer a city, we're going to hit move troops, and we're going to choose the city we want to send from. All these city names are going to be able to be edited, so you can change them to whatever you want to. That way they're easier to find. We're also going to add in travel times, things of that nature. So you can either, in this, you can either just hit move all. It's going to move all the troops that you have. You can type them in, or you can hit the max amount here. If you hit move all, it's just going to send. You change this to 200 and hit move troops, it's going to send. Now all troop movements are going to show up in the movement tab here. You can hit detail, it's going to show you how many troops are moving to said city. Now, once you hit the city, it's going to produce a report. We'll wait for that to happen. We've got the movement speeds turned way up, so this is not how fast you're going to be attacking your neighbors in the actual game. All right, so we hit it, we took it. Here's the report. Attacker has won the battle in green. Detail, here's the actual battle that took place. We lost 0 troops because there was no defending troops. Now, we are going to be adding troops to the computer-controlled cities, so you can't just send one unit and take a city. You're going to need to actually attack with a sizable force. Okay, so once we've generated a few cities, we're going to go ahead and manage them in our cities overview tab. So here, you can assign the same weapon for every city. If you want to assign spears everywhere, Go ahead and mass change the weapons. So now we are producing spears in every single city. These are your current production rates for each city. You can mass upgrade city levels, and that's going to raise your rates of production. Your unit or your population production numbers are going to stay the same. They're not going to go up. And we are changing the way that the horses produce. You're actually going to have to choose to produce a horse rather than a spear if you want to produce mounted units. So for mounted units, you're going to need population, a horse, and the proper weapon for the unit. So they're going to be much slower to produce just based on that. Okay, now once we've produced weapons in all these cities, you can do mass recruitment. You can go to mass recruit spearmen, and it will produce units based on how many weapons you have of that type in each city, and if you have the proper amount of population in each city. Right now, with everything turned up, we're never going to run out of anything. During the actual gameplay for our regular servers, you won't just be able to produce unlimited troops. Now, we do have a mass relocate feature. So if I want to move all my troops to one city, I can just mass relocate here. And it is actually going to move everything for me. So with that feature, we're going to be adding the ability to make groups. So say you have cities that you've decided are going to be only for defending. You can group them together and mass send just those cities. There's no rating in this game, so if you hit a city and you win the battle, you're taking the city. Um, in the future, we plan to add the ability to recover weapons from the defending army to make it more profitable to be the attacker. So you attack a city, you take the city, you also recover half of the weapons from the fallen army, and also you gain the weapons that are in the army currently. When you attack a city, with your troops and you take the city, those troops are ready to be used again. So they do not need to return to the city they were at. They're just ready to use immediately. All right, so now we've taken that city. Let's go ahead and send right here. So, so we're going to move all. There's no returning troops back to the original city. Um, we want to be able to keep the pace of play moving. So your troops belong to you. They don't belong to a specific city. So now they've all moved here. I think we're going to show you what happens when we take a city that's been producing weapons. Unless he has a ton of troops in there, then all of ours will die. While it's moving, I'm going to show you the battle simulator. As we implement other parts of the game, this will be more and more useful. You can come here to do your battle simulations instead of going to an alternative site or running your own spreadsheet. So as the spying is implemented and the scouts are implemented, you'll be able to see what troops, possibly you're going to be fighting. So you can fill this in, run the simulation, and see how you're going to make some changes. Make some changes based on the units that they have and the units that you have. Okay, we've taken the city. Let's see what happened in the report. Actually, I had to resend because I lost the first battle. He still had troops in there. But, all right, we resent. Planning to take it. Now, when you take over a city that's been producing weapons, those weapons don't disappear. So There's actually 100,000 bows in here, mainly because our numbers are cranked up so high. But the population is actually still there too. So we're going to change the way that that works. I think some of the population is going to stay there. Then we're going to change the way that the population works with taking over a city. We might do, 30% of the population stays or something like that. So you can actually go ahead and recruit all these bows. So because we have the horses and the population and the weapons, I now have 120,000 units. That is going to have to change. We'll make the population change and also the horses change. Now in game, you're not going to be getting 120,000 units just by taking a city over. Uh, we're going to be slowing down everything, like I said, so that's not even a possible number to produce once we're in our final stage of server speed. But the nice thing about recovering these weapons is I can go and attack again, right, with the units that I just took. Now this is our version of raiding. As you take over these cities, you're going to recover weapons. Weapons are going to be a valuable part of the economy of this game, not just the actual resources you take. Every time you take a city that has a stock of weapons, that's time that you're going to save because you're going to be able to take those weapons and produce troops immediately with them. Or do you recover some of that population? We're leaning towards recovering some of that population just to keep the pace of play going and also to give an incentive for taking over cities. We'll be making some changes and adding more features over the next about 3 weeks. So we'll do another video with some in-game footage and kind of highlighting the changes that we made. We're shooting for the end of August on that, so give us about 3 weeks on that. Graphics, all that's going to be done. Once we have a polished product, we'll start adding the graphics once the main aspects of the game are done. We still have to implement coalitions and team play and all that. Any questions, comments, suggestions? I will open up the floor. Thank you.